when we multiply positive and negative numbers, we simply multiply absolute values, regardless of the signs that we have. We just multiply the absolute values. The answer to the problem will be positive if both the numbers that we were multiplying had the same sign, and the answer will be negative if the two numbers had different signs. That's it for the rule for multiplication. Let's try some problems. Let's multiply 7 times negative 6. Multiply absolute values. 7 times 6, 42. The two numbers have different signs, so the answer is negative. Next problem, negative 7 times 3. Multiply absolute values, I get 21. The two numbers have different signs, so the answer is negative. Now, you can see if you multiply two numbers with different signs, just multiply the absolute values. The answer is negative if the two numbers had different signs. Now let's look at a problem in which the two numbers have the same sign. Negative 3 times negative 1, I multiply. 3 times 1 is 3. The two numbers have the same sign, so the answer is positive. And the next problem I want to do is the product of three numbers. We can only multiply two at a time, though, so we'll just take them in order going left to right. So negative 3 times negative 4 times negative 5. I'll multiply these two first. Negative 3 times negative 4 will be positive 12, because the two numbers have the same sign, and that's times negative 5. 12 times 5 is 60. And the two numbers have different signs, so the answer is negative. So that rule for multiplication with positive and negative numbers is really pretty simple. We just multiply absolute values. If the original two numbers had different signs, that answer is negative. If the original two numbers have the same sign, the answer is positive. Here's our next problem. Let's simplify. This involves more than one operation. I'll work inside the parentheses first, inside here and inside here. 4 subtract 7 will be, that's right, negative 3. 6 subtract 9 will be, again, negative 3. Now when I multiply, negative 3 times negative 3, I multiply absolute values, I get 9. The two numbers had the same sign, so the answer is positive. So when I do this subtraction up here, I'm assuming that you have gotten to the point where you can do subtraction very easily. And when I say 4 subtract 7, you're thinking 4 plus negative 7, which is negative 3. 6 plus negative 9, negative 3 again. Now, the only thing that's new right here really is this multiplication. Negative 3 times negative 3, positive 9. Next problem, negative 4 times that in parentheses, 3 minus 8, subtract 6 times 2 minus 5. Now, this might look like the distributive property here, but it's not, because these are just simply numbers that I can actually subtract. So negative 4 times 3 subtract 8 is the same as 3 plus negative 8, which is negative 5, minus 6. 2 subtract 5 is 2 plus negative 5, which is negative 3. Now, I have subtraction and multiplication. I have to multiply first. Negative 4 times negative 5 will be positive 20. Here's my subtraction sign. 6 times negative 3, negative 18. Now, I could have thought of this as addition of the opposite and said plus a negative 6 times negative 3, and that would have given me a positive 18. Either way, I'll get the same result. Subtracting negative 18 is the same as adding positive 18, so I end up with an answer of 38. So I simplify according to the rule for order of operation inside the parentheses first, then I multiply. Finally, the last thing is to subtract by adding the opposite. One more problem. Let's simplify this expression that has a variable. This time we have to apply the distributive property. Negative 3 times 2x. Subtract negative 3 times 5. And then subtract just 7. So the parentheses end right here, so that's as far as I'm going to distribute that negative 3. Negative 3 times 2x by the associative property will be negative 6x, because I'll multiply negative 3 and positive 2 to get negative 6. Subtract, there's my subtraction sign. Negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. Subtract 7. Negative 6x. Subtracting negative 15 is the same as adding positive 15. And now let's see, I can add 15 and negative 7, and I get negative 6x here, plus 15 subtract 7 is what, 8? Okay, the only other parts of this problem that could have been different would be down here when I multiply negative 3 times 5, I could have thought of this as adding negative 5 and multiplied negative 3 times negative 15 and gotten positive 15. You see, that's the same result that I eventually ended up with down here. So that's a quick look at multiplication with positive and negative numbers.